Then basically what I do is like my little guilty pleasure thing where I have like my syrup and my buttery pancakes to it, and then I'll take the ketchup that I'm gonna dip my hash browns into,
son of a
into
bitch.
the corner,
Don't you
into
dare.
the corner of the fucking of that thing. So like a little bit of syrup is getting with that ketchup, and I'm dipping, and I'm getting it's sweet, it's tangy, it is crunchy, it's salty, it's the greatest culinary experience you're ever gonna have. It's class. I'm sweating right now talking about it.
Welcome back to Show Me Yours podcast. I'm Jackie Agnew.
I'm Jonny DeVito, the first person you met in comedy.
And I'm Ty Blossom. That was a good win. That felt like a very, like I'm on a boat.
Yeah, the breeze is coming in.
Yeah, hey, I have been getting really into the Titanic lately. So.
Absolutely.
Oh,
You know
man,
what?
I could tell you so much.
I'm
about
getting
it.
into the Titanic a little bit.
It's super interesting.
Hey, let's get to business first. And
Okay.
then let's
We'll tell you about the Titanic, but first, why don't you like and subscribe this video? Click that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. Say, hey, what's up, guys? And we'll reply to you.
Sure.
Because there's not a lot of comments to reply to.
Yeah,
So I think I can manage that.
Nothing but time.
And follow us on Instagram. We post a whole bunch of clips on there that the people love.
That they do.
Also on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. Share us on your stories and give us a tag so we know what's up. And share us just out in the world, word of mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell your boyfriend, tell your girlfriend, tell your husband, tell your wife, tell your brother, your sister, your mother, and your father.
I like you saved a burp for mother.
I want
Shout out to all the moms out there.
Absolute slop. I want you to turn yourself into the police. And then when you get into that room and the cops are sitting there, I want you to sing like a bird about Show Me Yours. It's going to be kind of weird for them, but, hopefully it could be an interesting
like
road
a
to go.
confessional kind of situation.
I want you to go to your closest Catholic church, get into that confessional booth, wait for the priest to finish up whatever he's doing over there.
Yeah.
They're busy guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, get
right?
in line.
But you know what I mean? Once he kind of wipes himself off, tell him about Show Me Yours.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The people need to know.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And should we talk about the Titanic? I don't know.
You know what? If it comes up naturally, I'll find a way to shoehorn it in.
Good.
Somewhere.
Okay. Cool. We're too busy, man. We got other things to talk about. What we have, I think, number one on the docket that we need to talk about is Tyler celebrating 4 years of sobriety.
Thank you, friends.
Yeah, dude. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
How does it feel?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty goddamn good.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
It's like, it's a pretty good day. What can I say? I'm
Hey,
very grateful. I got good homies around. I got good family and all that. So,
Hell
my life's fucking dope. Are you kidding me?
Celebrating with a
man.
nice sun brew.
Yeah, that's right. Corona Sunbrew.
Yeah.
0.0.
Hell yeah.
A lot of vitamin D in there, though.
Fuck yeah,
and,
man.
I get a little buzz.
Getting buzzed on that D.
Yeah, man. I figured I would help celebrate with you by waking up with my fourth hangover of the week, and I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But you did message me last night because I think it was like it's supposed to be a bigger night. And you're like, listen, you're like, I can't. This is a lot."
Yeah.
You're like I've eaten too many wings
It was
on a not wing Wednesday.
It was not,
Yeah.
and I feel like I'm at this like this weird point that doesn't happen very often, right? And obviously because we're moving, like I'm sitting on just like a hobbit and a dragon size situation, just a pile of gold that I'm sitting on that I'm just hanging out with, right? So I got drunk to the point last night where like wings are like what, like 13, like they're too expensive to buy on not a wing day.
Yeah, when it's not wing night.
And I let them shits fly. I was crushing wings. I was sitting down with
after
basket. And they're shitty baked wings too. Like they weren't even fried. Like they were bad, but I still enjoyed them. And I sat at a table with two guys that are deeper into conspiracies that I'm to the point where I'm not even a conspiracy guy anymore.
You're not.
They just took me. They took me out of it.
Yeah.
That was pretty intense. I was talking to a UFO dude who is so into UFOs and like has like a fucking like a memory on him like you wouldn't believe. So he started talking to me about a previous conversation that we had regarding, anything extraterrestrial, and he like explained my opinion to me back to me.
You can't keep track of how many conversations you've had, though, Jonny.
I know, man.
You're everyone's
That's
first
true.
comedian to meet in
Yeah.
comedy, so
Yeah,
how could you
it's
possibly?
everyone's first friend in comedy.
Hey, man, you know what I mean, right? Like, there's just plenty of room at the table, right? And I'm always willing to, to break bread with another. But the thing with this fellow was that I didn't realize that. I don't really care about, like, I'll read something and develop a split-second opinion on it and then completely
And then
forget
move it
about
on,
it for the
of
rest of
Yeah,
my
yeah,
life.
yeah. Got other shit.
He explained to me my opinion on something, and I was like, that doesn't sound like something that I would say. And then it did sound like something I would say for sure. And he pulled his phone out, and he had me on video saying it. He was shooting like a documentary
what?
or something that he hasn't edited together, and he pulled a phone out, and he showed me.
Oh my god.
Didn't he film at the
That's
Mushroom
weird.
Show?
I believe he did. Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember there was a
Oh,
camera
that
being there and being
guy.
like, "Why?
Yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
be."
I remember that. Yeah.
This was outside of House of Comedy where he was filming, so it was outside of a different show where I'd clearly had enough to drink and was willing to talk on camera about UFOs. And
Sir, do you have a moment to talk about UFOs?
Do I ever?
Great question. Glad you asked.
I've
How
been
much
waiting
time
for
do you
this
have?
moment. Yeah.
You got enough tape in that camera?
It was So it was pretty. It was one of those moments where the homies across the street hosting big weekend for you. You know what I mean? Obviously because of the sobriety milestone, also hosting. You know what I mean? The
Yeah, I'm
House
hosting
Comedy.
for a Milwaukee right now at House of Comedy. It's been it's a blast.
Very
also, Malik Elsal's there.
Hell yeah.
He's fucking
Yeah,
crazy
hilarious.
good too.
Yeah, I saw him last night. He's like just building this, like the stuff that I had heard when he was living here before, and now it's like added on with new stuff. Fucking very, very funny.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a pretty good fucking weekend.
Fuck
for
yeah,
Thai.
man.
What can I say?
Hell
What can I
yeah.
say?
Proud of you.
Wish
buddy.
I could say the same. I didn't have the best
Jackie's
show
doing
last night.
Jackie's doing hot sevens at a graduation reunion.
Yeah, that's a tough look.
It's
So when the world shrinks, babe, can you break the story down a little bit? Like,
okay,
I mean,
well,
it's-
I'm not gonna get too into specifics, but I'll just say like it's so funny doing comedy because all of a sudden people will come out of the woodwork from your past who like want to see you do comedy or whatever, or they'll just happen to be at a show, which is usually the case. They'll buy tickets to a show if they, a lot of people who I went to school with live in Vancouver, looking for something to do. They'll wind up at a show that I'm on, and for the person in the audience, I mean, they're like fucking stoked about it. They're like, oh my God, like haven't seen this person since high school. Now I get to see them perform. This is going to be so much fun. From the comedian's perspective, it is the worst thing in the world.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's always the worst shows. Not like the worst shows, but it's just so much more like nerve-wracking and like anxiety-inducing when someone is in the audience.
Oh,
and
and
you're doing
unexpectedly
these
too.
like
Yeah.
we're doing these like bar shows.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're not hanging in you're in with fucking everybody. So it's
Exactly,
like
yeah.
you're seeing these
Yeah.
people prior. Because after
Yeah.
the show, that's all fine. I haven't seen you yet. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have a quick little catch up. Then it's like that's weird obligation.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
like if I know going into it, that's
that's
fucking
Get in your head,
Exactly.
start to adjust
When you
shit or whatever. Trying
exactly,
to
it's the worst when you see them
you hate to see.
but beforehand, and then you're thinking, because especially this show, there's not, and that's the other thing. It's shitty when unexpectedly someone is in the audience, but it is 1,000 times worse when it's a very small crowd and very small room. So it's so
they're the
intimate.
only person in the audience.
Yeah,
That
like
sucks.
so intimate, and it's like when like you walk into a show and there's only a few people in the crowd, you're like, okay, this isn't gonna be like a banger. This is gonna be like, hopefully I get a few laughs. I'm gonna work on some stuff, whatever. But then someone is in the audience and you're like, oh, why is this what you're witnessing? Because that's what you're going to think that this whole thing is, when you say,
yeah.
oh, yeah, I saw Jackie do comedy. It was interesting.
They're not seeing you do
yeah.
weekends at the club. This is bullshit.
Yeah, it's like, I swear to God, it's not always like that.
It's not an accurate representation, but it also is. You know what I mean? The life you kind of like to peek behind the curtain. There is not very glamorous at this stage of the game.
Yeah. But yeah, and that is like the thing too, because like before the show, like you don't want to like hang out and catch up, right? So you feel like a bit of an asshole, but you know, you go off and you're like sitting with the comics or whatever and kind of, you know, thinking about what you're going to do, rethinking everything, be like, I should pull out my best shit probably just so they can see, you know, what I'm capable of. Yeah. But then it's like, which I didn't do. I did like new shit and stuff because I was like, well, it's just going to be embarrassing if I like come in with my best stuff for like 7 people. But then, and then I did not stay to catch up after the show, which also was maybe not the best move on my part, but you know.
Yeah, but after all that, I'm like,
it's a late show.
Get me the fuck
Your boyfriend is on a
out
train
here.
coming towards you, shit faced out of his mind. I totally forgot that you picked me up last night. It was rad. I was on the couch this morning, like, how did I even get home? Like,
that's the thing too. Is like because you're there, people who come to watch are there on like a fun night out. They're like, oh, this is great. We're gonna have drinks. We'll catch up or whatever. But it's like we're there like to work really, as much as it maybe doesn't seem like that. But you know, and especially, you know, last night, like you weren't there and I was just on the late show, so I was fucking waiting around all night to like go to the show and like just wanting to go, you know, kind of in and out, you know, get the job done or whatever. And I end up looking like a huge asshole. But you know, it is what it is.
Hell yeah, you know, we kind of throw ourselves into these situations or whatever that might be incredibly embarrassing, and it's just weird when like it just like hits a little closer to home than it normally does. Super funny.
There's it's such like a weird thing to do. There is nothing quite like bombing in front of someone who you know, whether it be like a family member or like a close friend or like someone you haven't seen for like a decade or whatever. But it's
there's you know, if it's like a super close homie, it was like they've probably seen me a bunch, so it's like they get it, they understand like what it is. They're usually probably a fan of comedy because they're a close homie. But it's the fucking strays, man. Like they haven't seen you since high school, or like, oh, we had a dinner one time together, and you're like, why are you fucking kidding me?
It was like the funniest thing too, because afterwards I was talking to some of the comedians about it, and Ravi was like, oh, like, have you had like your 10-year high school reunion yet or whatever? And I was like, well, it happened, but they were charging people because I went to a private school.
I kind of remember this.
It was like there were tiers too, and like the lowest tier it was like $200 to like be able to go to your fucking high school reunion.
Hell no.
And so
I mean, listen,
like,
we drove past it and they closed the gates on us.
They
were like, you saw me and Jonny in the car, and we're like, fucking lock it up, get the dogs.
100%. Beautiful grounds from what I could see. Through the fence.
Oh man,
look lovely.
But I said that, and Lady's Choice, friend of the podcast, was sitting across the table, and he just starts laughing. He's like, "That's a lot of money to find out who got fat."
The Lady's Choice. Oh my God!
Shout out to him winning his match in Fredericton a couple weekends ago. He got over. You love to see it. That you know what that means though, gang.
Every time he looks in the camera, a woman leaves her husband for the Lady's Choice.
We all know that's the truth. We all know that's the truth. But he's gonna have to face Randy Myers at some point.
Oh man,
it's gotta be happening pretty soon. So. You know, we would like to see that happen. Maybe one of us will be there to cover some of that. That'd be hilarious.
The sooner the better. The sooner the better. The clock is ticking for us, so we would like to see that in September. If there's anything that we could do, just put it out in the universe right now. Hopefully, good things happen.
Exactly. We got any blind spots this week?
Just I don't know if you want to call it a blind spot, but I think. How would I say this in words? I think my blind spot is my own confidence in like in just like my general health and stuff like that. Ty,
Okay.
I'm getting up to go to work on Wednesday morning, and it's like, so I said it's like the fourth hangover of the week, right? I was trying to space out my drinking days. You know what I mean, right? Not taking it too crazy, and you know, trying to stay alive a little more. So after 2 days of not drinking, I woke up and I had like a gout attack in my toe that normally doesn't happen unless I'm heavy on the booze. So like I didn't really understand what was going on. And then Jackie looked me dead in the eye at 6:30 in the morning and goes, well, do you think it has anything to do with that McDonald's bag that's in the
I was like, well, he was like, I didn't even drink last night. I was like, well, what did you eat last night? And then his face just goes red. And he was like, nothing. And I was like, really? Because there's a McDonald's bag in the trash.
Come on. Should have put something on top of it.
I gotta hang. Dude, that's so funny that you're at the point in a relationship where you have to hide a McDonald's bag because you're so ashamed.
That's the thing. Is like I'm not hiding it from her. I'm hiding it to cover up like my eventual.
She's catching you jerking off in the kitchen. Not a problem.
Not
But that
a-
McDonald's
totally
bag, he's
cool.
like, I gotta hide this.
Totally cool. Yeah.
That's so funny. It's hard to put it together. I know that I make poor. I go through phases of very poor, like dietary, like just choices.
Yeah.
'Cause we're out fucking late,
So
and it's
late.
like, and we're in the place we're at. It's like, I'll say it. Holy chow, your food, unbelievable.
So good.
I fucking love it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
outstanding. But I can't be eating that every fucking
Can't
night.
have
Like, are you
noodles every
kidding me?
night.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, well, so like, what do you really
But I
have
do.
for like late night options?
But I
of
fucking
course,
do.
right?
Or I go get a pizza down the street. The amount of pizza I fucking consume is gross. Like it's
Yeah.
so bad. It's for 30. Like I'm 16 and live in the sewers.
Dude.
And I'm a turtle. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of pizza.
Yeah.
I've had to fucking I've trying to fucking put like a kibosh on the A&W because I was like fucking racking like 4 or 5 Beyond Burgers a week.
Every
Like,
night I'm coming back from anytime I come back from House of Comedy, I go to Joyce and it's like it's right there. It's quick. They got it down to a fucking science.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's delicious. Yeah, every night.
Yeah, we're going on the way home from here. Like that's happening. Definitely.
How's that kibosh working
I
out?
don't
I
know.
for you?
haven't
Well,
had
she
it
might-
in
yeah,
quite a
she-
while.
she's actually, like,
I've been
kinda
doing good. I've been trying to fucking make it sucks because it's like we'll finish work and then there's like a few like 2 to 3 hours before either gotta go to trivia or go to a show or whatever, and you want to just like chill those during that time, but I've been trying to just fucking just make food, and so then there's food when you get home, like fucking. But
That's the biggest one. Because it's
Yeah.
also like I'm getting home at like 1, and it's like
Yeah.
I can't be fucking.
I'm not gonna fucking cook a meal
not
right
cooking
now.
shit.
But if
Yeah.
there's like shit in the fridge, I'm like, oh, okay.
So I think there's a blind spot or whatever is the fact that I look at, you know what I mean, fast food and everything like, well, I don't have any other choice. Like, how else am I going to eat healthy at this hour when the woman that I love is a vegan and has prepared a healthy meal that is in my fridge? Literally, all I have to do is heat it up and apologize for eating half of her food. But
I was gonna say, I'm like, is it your food?
it could be, I think, if she wants me to be alive or whatever. Right? It's not necessarily encouraged at the moment, but I think that moving forward, it could be.
What? It's not encouraged?
I don't. Yeah.
I think I encourage you to eat healthy all the time.
Yeah, she's the one pointing out the McDonald's thing, for Christ's sake.
There's no crispy chicken skin.
What are we doing at McDonald's? We're doing a quarter pounder?
I'm doing a quarter pounder.
Are we doing a quarter pounder, Johnny? Are we doing a
Well,
double quarter pounder, Johnny?
Dude, it depends on if it's payday or not. So yeah, I'll hit a double quarter pounder.
Sir, you just told me you were sitting on a pile of
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So, well then I'm going for like other things. So like I'll get
sitting
I'll
on a
just
pile
get
of
the-
golden arches.
I'll
you
get
know?
the single. I will get the single quarter pounder, but then I'll fuck around with some other stuff. I might do like a classic, you know, like a chicken ranch wrap or something like that. I might go with a double cheeseburger.
wrap, so he feels
might
better
reckon-
about the
Yeah.
I just think it's a good delivery system, and I'll actually peel off the extra wrapper on it. I hate it when like there's too much like wrapper on like.
You mean
any
the
kind of
actual wrap
mean
itself?
the
wrap? Yeah, like the
Or
tortilla.
the
If
wrapper?
there's too much.
Okay,
if there's
you
too-
just
I'm
call
not
it
eating the wrapper
tortilla
anymore.
a wrap.
I'm off the. I'm off the wrapper.
I think it's insane if there's
Yeah.
too much wrapper on it.
Yeah, there's too much paper.
You are off it because you're throwing them in the trash now instead of just eating them like you were before.
Yeah.
But in the interest of being honest, full disclosure, and transparency on this podcast, that's just my afternoon McDonald's order, because the morning McDonald's order
Unhinged.
is fucking nuts, right?
Yeah.
So what I like to do, obviously, I'm a sausage egger kind of guy. Get the sausage egg going, maybe 2 tree hash browns, you know what I mean,
Okay.
for sure. And then I'm coming in with the hot cakes. So when was the last time you had McDonald's pancakes?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I like pancakes, but it's never an item I order at a place.
Oh, buddy, I'm bad
Especially
hard.
at McDonald's.
In the past, like,
Especially at McDonald's,
in
dude.
the past 6 months' time, probably up 15 pounds, and it's all pancakes. It's
How
like,
many pancakes are we talking in an order?
I mean, it's
Like,
they'll
how
come
would
with,
it-
they'll
they
come
come
with
by
three.
one? They
Come
come
with
in
three
three.
in a little order, right? So they're little thinnies, and then they come with like a nice little.
Thinnies? They're like what?
Oh.
A crepe?
No,
No, like a just not a fluffy pancake. You know
they're
what I
not
mean?
like
Kinda.
a thick like.
Would you say they're about
Quarter
the
inch?
same inch as a quarter pounder patty?
I would put
Probably
money
about
on it that it's
Yeah.
exactly that.
Okay.
So
Continue.
then basically what I do is like my little guilty pleasure thing where I have like my syrup and my buttery pancakes to it, and then I'll take the ketchup that I'm gonna dip my hash browns
you
into
son of a
into the
bitch.
corner
Don't you
into the
dare.
corner of the fucking of that thing. So like a little bit of syrup is getting with that ketchup, and I'm dipping, and I'm getting
no.
it's sweet, it's tangy, it is crunchy, it's salty, it's the greatest culinary experience you're ever gonna have. It's class. I'm sweating right now talking about it because I'm such a piece of shit.
You're having a heart attack.
I fucking
not sweating.
I might. You know what I mean? And I feel like
ketchup is what.
I feel like I'm doing this thing where like I'm like I know that I have to stop, so I'm just like in my head easing it out. Like, well, this is the last one.
Easing it out.
Yeah, right. But like, no, I'm kind of being like, well, I mean, I'm gonna do it one more time.
How many mornings a week are we talking here? 5?
No.
With
no, not on week.
Yeah,
days.
I go weekends.
Oh, I thought this was like a pre-work meal.
No. I can't go on 8
I was
hours
gonna
on my
say,
feet
I'm like,
with
that's
that.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm running on fumes until about 11 o'clock, where then I go to Ricky's Diner for a nice Eggs Benedict, and I'm
That's
a fat
where you had the
piece
Eggs
of shit.
Benedict.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
it.
Second time in 24 hours, and he's mentioned this Benedict to me.
I
get it.
He has fucking 5 eggs Benedicts a week.
maybe sometimes I'll get pizza. I'm gonna die, you
And
guys.
he's wondering why his big toe hurts.
I mean,
I can't imagine holiday sauce is good for the gout.
No.
You know what I mean?
I don't
That's
think
a lot
that
of
it is-
Bennies. That's a rich meal, man.
So I need to. I don't know. I
meal.
need to switch to like a monk's
They're fucking
lifestyle.
good.
All raw.
What kind of
food.
Bennies are we talking at Ricky's here?
Great question, time. Glad you asked. They're gonna go with a classic, which I don't mind. Like a nice like shaved ham. You know what I mean? Instead of like a Canadian bacon, I'm into that. But they have a BC Benny, is what they call it. I don't know what makes
Salmon
it
on there?
British Columbia. No, 'cause that's what you'd think, right? But
was, yeah.
it's a fucking slice of cheddar cheese and bacon.
What?
Has nothing to do with British Columbia, but it's a
Bacon
fucking.
cheddar?
It's so
BC?
good. Yeah, I fuck with that
Yeah.
real hard. The problem is that I go in there and like they know my name.
That's your
I go.
English
They
right
know.
there.
They know the booth that I like to sit in. I don't even have to fucking order the thing. Like they just bring
John
it to me.
Schwartzwater? You just have your
I
own
built
booth?
the building next door to this place, so I've been eating this there for years now. So I'm like their best fucking customer. And I walk in, there's always the same two servers.
Do you just
that
go
are
like
there.
this?
Well,
you order?
on a Friday, I might go burger. So they might ask me, but they'll come up with the menu and they'll be like kind of waving it around like, do you really need to see this? And I'm like, we don't need to see that.
Stop with this whole charade.
Yeah, exactly. But I fucking I got an order of Benny's probably, I want to say like Wednesday, and I'm eating them, and the hash browns came like half of the normal size. And I didn't even need to say anything about it. I just looked at the hash browns and I looked at her, and she walked to the to the kitchen and just got me more hash browns because they fuck with me like that, which is pretty awesome. You know what I mean? They're going to shortchange anybody else, but they're never going to shortchange me, right? 10% discount because I'm a construction worker in the neighborhood, right? They take care of their people. It's a neighborhood establishment.
Ricky's? Do they still have isn't it like a raccoon sort of mascot?
They tried to class it up a little bit, and this particular
That's right. There was a
Ricky's-
switch.
Yeah.
They've
so it's-
like kind of they're converting some into like pizza places now.
Yes,
Like,
this particular one is a
yeah.
Famoso pizzeria is being kind of built on the other side of it, so you'll be able to kind of do both.
Like a Neapolitan style.
I believe so. I'll have to update you when it opens.
sure you will.
I will be. I mean, I got a few more weeks on this job, so TikTok guys, get on it because I'm gonna try see if we got some margaritas going over there.
Yeah, we've gotten drunk with Mr. Darcy Boone Collins in that Ricky's
Did we
Oh,
go
that'd be a
there?
good
Is
time.
that where-
after he came on the pod.
Nice, yeah.
a couple of years back.
Mr. Randy
It was a good
Newman.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good time.
Oh,
Good
fuck,
time.
he had a set the other night. Made me laugh.
Yeah.
God damn, that man is funny.
Yeah. All right. We got a couple stories to get into. This first one. I don't know. So the foot fetish segment, is that like strictly Bigfoot, or is this like all supernatural?
Oh, babe, like if you got something, let it fly.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how we're going, if this is segmented, if this is like foot fetish, or if this is just like a story.
No, I mean, we can take a vote on this, but in my opinion, I think that we need to, be open to all types of different phenomena and weird things. Excuse me. I need to personally want more ghosts.
Shout out to moms.
Yeah. But No. My question is does this qualify as a foot fetish segment?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Foot fetish.
All right.
Monster hunters wanted in new search for mythical Loch Ness beast.
Ooh, go Nessie, huh?
Oh, yeah. The Loch Ness Centre in Scotland is calling for budding monster hunters and volunteers to join in what it dubs the largest search for the Loch Ness Monster since the 1970s. The visitor attraction said this week that modern technology such as drones that produces thermal images of the lake will search the waters in a way that has never been done before.
Very cool.
The new surface water search for the fabled Nessie, planned for the weekend of August 26th and 27th, coming up, is billed as the largest of its kind since the Loch Ness Investigation Bureau studied the loch for signs of the mythical beast in 1972. The Loch Ness Centre is located at the old Drumnadroget Hotel, where in 1933 manager Aldi McKay reported spotting a water beast in the loch, the largest body of fresh water by volume in the UK and one of its deepest. The story kicked off on an enduring worldwide fascination with finding the elusive monster, spawning hoaxes and hundreds of eyewitness accounts. Numerous theories or explanations have been put forward over the years, including that the creature may have been a plesiosaur, a prehistoric marine reptile, giant eels, or even swimming circus elephants.
Okay.
Yeah.
The That's a real 1920s
just like swimming on their back with like the trunk sticking out.
That's kind of rad, actually.
It's a good snorkel.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Open your mind a little bit here, right? Everybody's just looking at the base.
Yeah. The Loch Ness Centre said its team will deploy drones equipped with infrared cameras so they can produce thermal images of the water from the air. A hydrophone will also be used to detect acoustic signals under the water. Volunteers will be asked to keep an eye out for any breaks or other movements in the water, with guidance from experts on what to look out for and how to record findings. It's our hope to inspire a new generation of Loch Ness enthusiasts, said Alan McKenna of Loch Ness Exploration, a volunteer research team taking part in the upcoming search. By joining this large-scale surface watch, you'll have a real opportunity to personally contribute towards this fascinating mystery that has captivated so many people from around the world.
What do you think the likelihood of the organizer of this event being a supervillain is?
Ooh.
To the point where everybody that's going to come and search a supervillain may be even funded by one particular Loch Ness monster in order to take out, you know what I mean, your top monster hunters, researchers, things like that. Like, what if they show up?
Getting them all in one place.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yes, in a most dangerous game kind of situation or whatever, where you kind of bring them all. You know what I mean? Now it's a situation like you ever see a Bronx Tale with Chaz Palminteri?
Of course.
Closes the door on all the bikers. It's like, I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me.
I got caught in a storm in this weird town in Brazil when I was traveling, and they only had there was 2 DVDs. There was Catwoman and a Bronx Tale, and I was like, we're watching a Bronx Tale.
Let's go
over and over again.
Interesting story behind a Bronx Tale. Chaz Palminteri wrote that and did it as like a one-man show and toured it and got like massive success from this kind of like off-Broadway production, because it's kind of the story of like his childhood and kind of stuff that kind of happened with the guys in his neighborhood versus what his father thought and all that kind of stuff. And the studios were like banging on his door offering him, X amount of money, like $500,000, blah, 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 like all this huge amount of money at the time. And his whole thing was like he wants to write the screenplay and he wants to be Sonny, like the main gangster in the movie. So no like Universal and you know what I mean, massive.
Yeah, they're not taking that chance.
No, exactly, right? They want fucking, you know what I mean, like the Eurostars of the time or whatever to play these guys. but the show is still gaining momentum, and Jack Nicholson and the who's who of every all these stars or whatever are coming to watch this show. And he gets off stage one time, and as the story goes, Robert De Niro is just in his dressing room, just like what I mean, just watch the show and duck back there. So he walks into his own dressing room, and Robert De Niro's in there, and kind of says like, you know what I mean, this is fucking great, blah blah blah. I want to do the movie, and so he's like, well, this is what it is, right? Like, let me write it, and I want to be the main gangster. And Robert De Niro says, if you shake my hand right here, that's how it'll go.
Wow.
Excuse me. I took the star power of Robert De Niro to make that happen.
Right.
With Robert De Niro playing the father and stuff.
Go.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Did you know that Sebastian Maniscalco has a movie out where Robert De Niro
is his dad?
Plays his dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. It actually so it premiered kind of around the same time as The Machine premiered, and obviously he got
burned by Bird.
Didn't promote quite as aggressively as Bird did. But yeah. So okay, I have a question. So I obviously am all for the interest in Nessie, of course. But do we really like all these drones overhead, infrared cameras? Like, I'm curious, like, what the end game of this is.
That was the thing. It's like I hope that they would find these these people that might overexpose this thing, because like, what is the ultimate end game here when found?
Well, we're gonna eat that monster, right?
Exactly.
We're gonna eat that. They're gonna eat that monster.
Sushi, right?
Yeah.
We got like
and it's like
14 Japanese guys over here sharpening knives.
Yeah, and it's like
just harpooning like it's fucking a cove full of dolphins.
But it's also like I am all for underwater exploration.
Yes.
We were just talking last night about scuba diving. But as this is Nessie is an elusive creature that clearly doesn't want to be found.
Yeah.
So why don't we just kind of leave Nessie alone? It's kind of similar to Bigfoot. But I feel like Bigfoot hunting isn't really, or Bigfoot. Oh my God.
Well,
I'm so sorry. Bigfoot exploring, Bigfoot sighting.
Thank you. It's okay. These things happen.
We obviously, everyone knows that we are firmly against Bigfoot hunting.
Absolutely. Any
unlike the people of Wisconsin.
Oklahoma.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Shout out Wisconsin. You guys are still doing okay.
Great cheese.
Yeah. Oklahoma, you're still on thin ice.
Yeah. But
Jackie can't remember. Jackie's gonna wander in to flyover states and just start fucking shit up. This is the one, right?
But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this, to be completely honest. I feel like at a certain point you just gotta leave what's under the water be a mystery.
Exactly.
It's kind of similar to of course 111 years ago in the early mornings on April 15th, 1912.
Here we go.
Buckle up,
she was going to do it, folks. That reminds me of a time.
You all are familiar with the Titanic, the ship of dreams, the unsinkable ship. And so she has been lying at the bottom of the Atlantic for 111 years now, and there is a worry that, they're not a worry, there is a scientific certainty that there's a finite amount of years left before this ship is completely gone, because it's being eaten away at. Yeah, exactly. And it's already, obviously, after all these years, considerably degraded. Anyways, and so there's all these different proposals floating around. Some people want to try and raise the ship up out of the ocean, which is ridiculous. But then people are like, oh, we should have all these more missions to try and extract as much as we can, which is cool. It's cool to see them and see things from the Titanic and exhibits and stuff. But at what point do we just let the ocean let the mysteries remain a mystery?
Well, see, the thing is, I don't think we've done enough damage to the ocean. If we could really up those numbers at all. I love we just don't learn from that whatsoever. I'm rereading that Cousteau book right now, and it's it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to even watch him, his whole change of attitude of fucking shit up.
Yeah.
Like, because they're throwing grenades in the water to fish. And then going scuba diving and realizing that, like, oh, the fish that float up to the top are, like, this is, like, 2% of what we're actually fucking up down here.
Yeah.
And then to watch him, like, change his whole, like, be, like, the biggest, conservationist after that.
Yeah.
Once he learned what the fuck he was doing. Like, and this is back in the 60s, and he's like, okay, holy shit, we can't be doing all this stuff.
These were different times.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's great. Why can't we get the fucking millionaires to get in a sub to go for the Nessie thing? Like, that seems a little more.
Well, like that was kind of where I was going with the.
That's how I was going to tie this all in with
with the
super
supervillain thing.
You took care of it, Jackie.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Everybody shows up to hunt Nessie or whatever. The guy that's just organizing the event is like, no, you leave your equipment at home. I have a bunch of equipment right here that's just all the same subs that were just built on that.
For the low cost of $250,000 each. You too.
You and Richard Branson can go down there.
It'd just be a weird way to call billionaires or something like that, right? But like if Scott, what is like Chuck Palahniuk, the guy that wrote Fight Club or whatever. This is like a plot to his stories, I think, which is.
Well, I mean, it's literally going to happen. Apparently, Elon and fucking him are fighting in the Coliseum.
Or whatever.
Did you hear that?
They're fighting the Coliseum?
In the Coliseum.
Oh, my God.
The Vatican is going to allow this.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking pay.
What?
Oh, my God.
It's wild. It's a wild time we live in.
That kind of ties into it because, again, it's like, why are we disturbing history like this?
Yes.
Why is the Vatican allowing these billionaires to fight in the fucking Coliseum?
Like, we should help raise the Titanic for because that would be a crazy dangerous mission or anything like that.
Yeah,
People are like, we gotta preserve the history. What if these two millionaires
fought in the Coliseum?
Billionaires fought in the fucking Coliseum.
Oh,
that's
my
just the fucking
God.
like it just goes to show the bloodlust or whatever of the human people that we are a species that just deserves to not be around.
Yeah, you
Nessie, what
can't
is it?
just
So
let
fucking
things
ridiculous.
be. Right?
Do you guys feel like we're more? Do you feel like maybe we believe a little bit more, or that I've always felt a little more connected to as far as like monsters and stuff have gone to even like Nessie because Ogopogo was here, so it was such a close
Definitely
kind of thing. I think I've done this before, but I'm not sure. Apparently, like the Okanagan Lake and Loch Ness are on the same lines of latitude.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
That's cool.
I'm into that.
I have actually seen the River Ness, which goes into Loch Ness, Lake Ness in Scotland there. One of the little small towns we were staying in is right along the river there. So cool. I've seen the water in which Nessie lives.
That is fascinating.
Cool.
In the on the same vein of like the same longitudinal lines with Okanagan Lake and Loch Ness, there is. I was watching something that was basically describing all these ancient sites, pyramids, Gobekli Tepe, all these fucking ancient monuments and stuff like that. Whereas if you draw a line around the world with about the width of about 2 kilometers wide, all of those sites are within that line.
I do love a good drawing on things.
Oh, me too.
God, yeah.
Because obviously
that
the
might be
favorite
completely even false, and I would have no idea.
The whole world is just like an outline of a cat playing with a ball. Have you seen that?
Fuck yeah.
No.
Oh man, I thought for sure. Oh man,
yeah,
I found the only cat meme Jackie Higgins like on the internet.
This is a theory I now subscribe to.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I
Australia
pulled
is
this
the
up
ball
right
Oh
away.
my God, that's amazing.
It's fascinating, right? So there's so much that that we're never going to understand because our interests are so carnal and just base level or whatever that you'll never understand things like vibrations and magnetism and things like Nikola Tesla or whatever would could wrap his brain around and things like that, where we just want billionaires' blood and we will let them bleed into the sand of the Coliseum.
Yeah.
Which is
tigers in there,
which is kind of cool. Well, the thing is that I want a better fight, because if it's Saturday Night Sissy fights or whatever and they get in there, do you think they're actually gonna bang? Or
they both train.
Yeah,
like Zuckerberg. Yeah, Zuckerberg has
I saw a picture of him.
Blue belt, or maybe he might be a purple belt. I'm not sure.
I saw him a picture. He looked pretty jacked. I thought Elon's a doughy fucking dork though.
Yeah, right?
He's trained a little bit for jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, but Elon's also a lot bigger than him. Mark Zuckerberg is a tiny dude. Yeah, he's jacked up, but he's a smaller guy.
It's so funny because to be a billionaire, you have to be such an inflated sense of ego, and so for this thought to be I could fight in the Coliseum or whatever.
It's wild.
It's so wild.
Yeah.
It's like absolutely insane. Imagine the feeling, you know what I mean, of like about to like walk into it. But also like it's like as like a preserved site. Like they can't pack the fucking stands and shit like that, right? You know, this fucking.
It's not going to be packed out like in fucking.
Fucking fall apart, right? It's like a capacity.
That's not up to
Someone
code.
call Joaquin Phoenix. We need to fucking.
Or maybe I'm vastly underestimating, you know, my ancestors, you know, building capabilities. I bet you, I imagine that place is just ready to go.
Hey, we know the
you
plumbing
can pack
still works.
50,000 people.
The plumbing's great.
The plumbing's great. We know that.
There's still Roman aqueducts that are fucking operational. Fascinating shit. Those fucking some plumbers, those Italians. Let me tell you something. Lobster tops, baby. You do all right. Oh man, I would love to see. Should we put like bets on it? Like, what do you think the likelihood that like one of them dies?
Zero,
unfortunately. I think I think Elon plays dirty for sure. Yeah.
Starts juicing.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, you know it's gonna be now. USADA will not be testing these two gentlemen.
Of course.
That it was okay because if you HGH like just pump the shit out of them with just like
if this is like MLB in the 90s,
exactly,
down the clown,
turn them into fucking Barry Bonds, fucking.
In fact, those should be the only people who are watching. Should be Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa, and Barry Bonds be the three judges. I like it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it would be super cool to have like an infrared kind of image of Nessie like in the water there. But
I'm like, how far does that go down?
Exactly.
Like that can actually read that. Like, there's a lot of like.
There's a lot of variables.
Is anyone scuba diving?
I kind of
scuba diving there? I would imagine so. What's the visibility like?
Right? Yeah, or people because they said it's surface level watching, so they're just having a bunch of people stand around the lake watching this. Like, I feel like if that was the technique, a lot more people would be seeing Nessie, you know?
Yeah, it's like interesting. Like, it doesn't seem like a pull for like tourism and stuff like that. They're asking for professionals.
Yeah, well, they said volunteers too, and anyone interested in new mystery hunters or whatever.
Well, we definitely fall in that line.
Yeah,
it's a little far.
Scotland, yeah. For I mean, like, it is a trip of a lifetime though to search for Nessie. Imagine you're the one that sees Nessie.
Nothing would make me happier.
Life-changing.
I could die right there. And high five Italian Jesus when I get there. Be like, you know what I did.
Go check out a quick fight at the Coliseum, and I'm coming home.
Exactly. Mama.
But all the power to them. I wish them the best, as long as this is for good and not for evil.
Sure.
Yeah, we can't have some sort of King Kong situation on our hands here.
Well, that's exactly it, right? This is the plot for King Kong, and what is going to happen when Nessie makes it to New York and falls in love, right? Like the whole city. The whole city could.
Up the fucking
exactly. You know what I mean,
building.
right? There's a lot of innocent people that you're putting at risk there, and I feel like, you know what I mean. We just don't need, these kind of things to get in, the way of just regular people trying to live their day-to-day lives.
I mean, what if Nessie just wants to like find a man and settle down?
Nessie just wants to have fun.
Nessie, wants to start a family. Nessie's living a lonesome life out here.
It's true, right? But I mean, some people like thrive in solitude. I imagine like the amount of like just like original body of works, stuff that Nessie's probably written over the years.
Of course.
Nessie's memoirs.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
some
fucking
spicy
mind
stuff
comp over here. Yeah.
Especially
Right,
when you talk about
He's got a little wild about the Jews.
Yeah. Other than that, really progressive stuff.
Nessie tried to move to Argentina at one time.
A lot of ideas. Had a lot of ideas during those years, but
This is like, that's so funny. She's talking about syphilis and boxing.
What a full life.
Really. Nessie really has lived a life. But like, what if like all of this, the people, it's like the equivalent to like paparazzi, right?
Sure.
It's like if like a regular old everyday person falls in love with like a superstar and they just can't handle the life.
Yeah, exactly.
Know?
All of a sudden, Tara Reid can't take a piss behind a dumpster at TGI Fridays. This
exactly. Yeah, and that's kind of trapped Nessie in this life of isolation, and there's no one there for her to turn to.
Yeah,
It's sad,
you're
really.
exactly
You're
right.
right.
So I
Sad.
think like if wanted, if you want a company, then I think the Nessie would put, he, she, themselves
Think
out
it's a she.
for
I
Yeah.
think it's a
she, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think she'd put herself out there, for it.
I don't want to assume that's
I
I mean, yeah, whatever
I'm gonna
Nessie
put that out there.
identifies
I don't
as.
know.
We're on thin fucking ice
yeah,
here,
whatever
boys.
she has her pronouns on
All of a
her
sudden we just see a
social
long
media.
neck come up in the window.
Yeah.
Excuse me, motherfucker.
But yeah, power to Nessie.
Hell yeah.
Okay, we have another fun story. Realtor caught drinking milk from homeowner's fridge.
I love it. There's no story too small on this podcast.
No. No one involves like food and the mystery
Yeah.
of missing food.
Yeah.
This guy's caught red-handed.
Yeah. There's no mystery. It's
No.
right
There is
on
no
film.
mystery at all. Breaking news with a bizarre and utterly outrageous incident in the world of real estate. A house showing turned into a jaw-dropping and cringe-worthy moment when a brazen real estate agent decided to quench his thirst in the most audacious manner
Now,
possible.
this is the journalism we've been looking for now. This
Right?
is the article we've been wanting.
Homeowner Liska Fullerton couldn't believe her eyes when she reviewed the surveillance footage from her property. In shock and feeling deeply violated, she witnessed the unbelievable scene unfold before her. The real estate agent, while conducting a routine inspection of the house, opened the refrigerator and casually helped himself to a carton of milk. But here's the kicker. He didn't bother with a glass or a cup. No! He went straight for the gold, drinking the milk right out of the container. When he returned for a second showing of the property, Liska was determined to confront him about his outrageous behavior. With a mix of incredulity and frustration, she looked the realtor in the eye and pointed out there was a cabinet with glasses. Liska Fullerton described her reaction, saying, "I was just upset. I felt really violated when I saw the video. I was in shock. It seems this reckless act of uncouth behavior came with a hefty price tag. The realtor's careless indulgence in milk drinking without proper decorum resulted in a whopping fine of $15,000.
Whoa.
Yeah, that
That's an
was
expensive sip.
that was indeed an expensive sip of milk for him to swallow.
Johnny journalist.
So my first and most important question is why milk?
Thank you very much, Daddy. I'm so glad you brought that up. Milk is you drink it, don't you? You fucking
Yeah. Sweating on a fucking Saturday morning.
Why,
Yes.
there's two major problems here.
Yeah.
One, fucking milk is
Yes.
disgusting.
Yes,
It's
sure,
gross.
To just help you if you're
Just
gonna help
milk.
yourself.
Like just the fucking syllable itself is
Milk.
just gross. It's
Yeah.
nasty, disgusting.
Yeah.
Secondly, if you are going to drink milk, because it's not like you don't ever have milk. It's like, okay, it's in a shake or it's in a fucking chocolate milk every now and then. Like, whatever.
I had a chocolate milk this morning.
Yeah, that's different.
I ordered
it with-
It's
I ordered it
sugar,
with
it's
the breakfast
delicious.
With
feed.
his
Yeah.
But it's
fucking
disgusting.
hot
It's bloody.
cakes
It's bloody
and-
pussy milk. It's really bad, actually.
I didn't order
Yeah.
pancakes this morning. I should make that clear. There was no pancakes this morning.
Oh, thanks
So
for clearing
the
that up.
second part is out of the carton.
I mean,
Out of the carton is
why?
like that's like liking the last like part of an ice cream with the stick.
You
Yeah.
shut your whore mouth.
Dude,
Not a fucking chance. The best
Dude.
sip that you were ever going to get
No,
of milk
dude, it
is
tastes
like
ice
cardboard.
cold from the jug.
The
from
jug,
carton.
yes.
The jug,
Jug,
if
yes.
you're
Jug,
jugging-
yes.
I'll go carton too.
Jug, yes.
I-
Jug, yes. Carton,
no. Hard no on the carton.
I gotta disagree. I
Tastes
would
like cardboard.
I would,
Oh,
yeah, it
get
gets
outta
all
here.
soggy on the top.
Oh,
No,
you get the
I-
little flex if they're gonna. They start,
I hope
peeling
that-
out like it's an old sweatshirt.
No, this is bullshit. This is a fucking outrage because like if I did that, I hope in my heart of hearts that like they were just like, oh, like I could take it out of the glass, but this is gonna be the best sip ever. Maybe even like not even touch the lips to the carton, just try to be a good dude. You know what I mean? But
That's
I.
embarrassment.
No.
Okay, so
No,
if you're at a
it's
friend's
still
house, if you're at a
within the
friend's house,
vicinity.
you're asleep, everybody else is asleep. You can't sleep because you know what I mean. Every time you
You
go to
haven't had your
bed,
warm glass of
we're
milk
going to
yet.
battle over there. I'm not going for a warm glass of milk. You know what I mean? But I would. Maybe cut a piece of cheese, couple cold cuts, something like that.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
cutting
yeah.
a piece of
So you're
cheese. You're not taking
gonna
a
drink-
bite out of the block.
Yeah, exactly. You're not putting your mouth on someone else's food.
I would go to my mom's house right now.
Your mom's
and
house.
dump
Your
it.
mom's
Yeah,
house.
yeah,
Your mom's
yeah,
house.
yeah.
That's
She's
everything.
not
Anything
gonna- are you
goes.
kidding me?
Anything goes there.
She's
But
gonna
like,
give you a little bit of shit, and that's about it.
yeah,
But I wouldn't go to
yeah.
your mom's
You literally
house and
can't.
do it. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
and just drink
All
milk
right.
straight from the carton. And it's like, So the fact that it was milk, first of all, super weird because it's like if you're thirsty, just fucking get a glass and get some water, right?
Yeah.
So and
yeah,
then
milk doesn't really like quench the thirst.
Yeah, that's a
Hot wings?
specific
What is the
craving.
deal here?
And then the fact that it's from the carton, this all leads me to believe this is like this weird kind of like kinky fetish
got
that he
something.
does. Like this isn't the first time he's fucking helped himself.
kidding me?
I think
easy.
what do you like
The
ice
milk.
cold
Carton.
milk,
Yeah.
you know, with some spaghetti.
He's a carton
if you're-
cartel
if you're-
over here, this
It's not
guy.
only like this is like a friend's house or someone else's house. This is the fucking person who is employing you to show their house, to sell their fucking house, and you're just helping yourself.
Hey,
putting your
everything's
lips-
for sale.
putting
all
your
right?
What if he was like,
lips
you
to
know
their
what? Sell this
carton?
house. A little less milk.
Yeah. And it's like the fact that it's milk. It's weird. It's almost like like Freudian, you know, like it's like why are you drinking milk from this lady's carton?
I see
you
where you're
know,
going with that.
like
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
Weird.
yeah,
That's-
because it's like if the thing is you get like this high
This
from
poor
like
guy's just fucking thirsty now. All of a
I
sudden,
know,
he
no,
wants
no,
to
no,
suck his
no,
mom's
no.
titties.
He's not just thirsty. He is a twisted and sick individual. Because like if your thing
Okay.
is like you get off from like stealing, you know, having like stealing something small from like your customers'
Oh, yeah,
houses,
just to feel
then
alive? Get a
why
little
take a
Snicker
swig?
bar?
Then fucking take a swig from a liquor bottle, you know? Why? But
He's
the
a
fact,
professional.
But the
He's on the
fact that it's
job.
fucking milk, it's so
The
specific.
milk thing is gross. The carton thing is
Yeah.
gross. I hear you saying absolute twisted
So this
individual
be
should
fine if it was
absolutely
a-
rot in hell for the rest of his life.
Exactly. Yeah.
But 15 grand?
50. It's
15
outrageous.
grand
That's
is
the
okay.
thing.
Yeah,
That's a little
So that's where,
steep.
yeah, that's where it turns because all of this. I mean, this guy like should really like burn in hell. Like lose all of his friends, lose his job, lose his house.
He got
lose-
caught fucking a kid. He
but
just took a
fucking
swig of fucking
15
milk.
grand is steep.
This poor guy.
How's he going to pay that? He doesn't have any
He just-
resources.
yeah, clearly no one's
The
hiring
bank has
this
seized
guy.
all his assets.
Yeah,
Am I
wife
such
has
a
left
piece of
him,
shit that they
taking the kids. Like,
I empathize with this man for some reason. I don't know why. Normally, I don't feel like I'd be on his team, and it's not just because I want to argue with you two, but like, you know,
Yeah, dude.
something
so
about him.
no.
Like I just want to, I want to see him from a distance and just give him that like knowing, you know, look in the eyes and be like,
I'm not going to help you, but I get
understand.
it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You're on your own,
fucking-
but fuck.
Yeah, dude.
But
I'm
I
sorry.
guess-
You're gonna have to swim to shore on this
Yeah, I
one. I'm not
wish
jumping
I-
in after you.
I wish I knew like what the charge was, you know, because it's not like someone was just like, oh man, like it's
was a
like
no
a
milk-
judge being like drinking milk from the carton.
Yeah.
15 grand, you know, like there was something specific that he had to been fined with or whatever. Like it's obviously
Breaching the
theft.
contract. There's a
breach
there's
of
a no lactose
there's
signing.
there's a no drinking carton from the milk from the fucking carton clause. But yeah, I mean this is just it's so
The
specific.
realtor doing an inspection of
Realtor,
the house.
yeah,
The
the
first
fact-
play is like what? Like
It'd be
Yes.
funny if it was just a surprise inspection. Like they didn't expect that he was showing up, and he just showed up, and he's got like a sleeve of Chips Ahoy in his pocket.
Yeah.
Like nobody's seeing.
he's dressed in a Santa costume. Your chimney work?
Couple carrot sticks for the reindeer.
milk.
You know what I mean?
But it's also like this guy's also a fucking idiot because it's like if you're like showing a house, if it's like a, you know, probably like a pretty nice house, and if this is someone who's giving this realtor access to their house, the chances are pretty high they're gonna have cameras set up, you know, because people are coming into the house, you know, they want
How
to
do you
make
not
sure
know that
everything-
as a realtor?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. Like
That'd be-
Especially if you're the
that's
kind of
weird.
realtor that's going around stealing milk from people's
That's right.
fridges.
Yeah,
If
right?
Faiza
You would
Khan is
check
going to
the
catch Ravi
angles.
beating off at 2 in the morning, she's going to catch a realtor sipping milk at 2 in the afternoon. You bet your ass.
Shout out Ravi
Exactly.
Canna.
Yeah.
You
The
dirty
whole
boy.
thing
Me and
is
Ravi will
just
be in the
like-
boiler room shoveling coal.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. What a disgusting man.
Yeah, really, like, should be ashamed of
15
him.
I
grand's
mean, I
crazy.
gotta.
But
I,
15
yeah,
grand
exactly.
is
The
too
15,
much.
It's
Yeah.
like I mean that's fucking like a life changing amount of money for pieces of shit like us, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. I feel
I
like
mean, that's
for whatever
fucking-
weird reason, I empathize with this guy. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just get caught because you could be a little bit too comfortable.
I'll
when
be
you
honest.
shouldn't be.
I kind of do like the way in the article, like some of the wording there is just like just despicable.
This
Like,
guy
it's,
didn't
I'm
fucking
like, I mean,
kid.
that guy had a glass. He had a sip.
Exactly.
He had a sip of milk.
Yeah, it's more
It's
just
gr-
it's
it's about the
more
milk.
weird.
It's more weird. It is
it's
weird.
more
Sure.
weird than it is like
It's tough break,
morally
man, you know?
morally repugnant.
I
you
feel
know?
like they're biting this in the ass before it becomes a bigger problem for this guy, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of what's next.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, yeah, exactly. This is behavior that escalates.
I
right?
mean, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
what this guy could probably be into something so much darker, and if this is just the one thing that caught him on the light side, then his deepest, darkest depravities are gonna go now so much further, and he's gonna be so much more weary of being caught of like the more heinous crimes if he just got caught for something.
I do like how the camera is like placed directly at the fridge, though. Like I was like, of all the places to have. You gotta
I
get a
would
kitchen
wonder,
here.
like, if this has been like over a period of time where there was some kind of
They
suspicion.
noticed like some like
Hey,
the
we're out of milk
carton.
again.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Who's out of milk in this fucking house?
Yeah. I
Just
know what
bought
we're
this
gonna do.
fucking
We're gonna
carton
put our most
yesterday. Yeah.
irresistible carton of milk right at the front of the fridge.
I wonder if that's how he fucked it up. What if it was unopened? There's no way.
I
That's a
mean,
psycho
that would be
move.
that would be
That's
fucking yeah.
unheard
That
of.
that would be worth a 15 grand fine.
100%. I can see it. That's probably what it
I'm
was.
so much cooler with it because, like, well, at least it's not open yet. But I don't know why.
Oh my God! Are you?
Why
kidding?
are you okay
my
with this
God.
guy? I don't know.
You're cracking the
At
seal.
least
You're
the-
breaking the fucking carton seal.
I
Yeah.
mean,
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
I am questioning everything right now.
I'm saying it wouldn't be my go-to, but I'm
Oh, that
saying like I'm not
stupid
above
fold.
it.
Oh, soggy fold.
This song,
Uh,
you
And
pull
you
it
know,
out.
like,
Soggy
and then like once you
fold.
like do it, like it starts like kind of rippling because it's wet.
Exactly.
because your wet lips are all on it, fucking hitting it right
your
cold
wet
to the head.
milky lips. Ugh.
Fuck, yeah.
Why
With
like
it just with marinara sauce around, I think as a fucking as from 5 years old all the way up, just still doing it. I am a man.
I like this brings me to like another question is like why have we not like upped the carton game? Because like for plant-based milks there's like the twist
It's
top,
a
right?
twist on, and then the
Yeah.
inside of the carton is
It's
like
like
plastic.
it's coated in plastic.
Yeah,
but with
yeah.
like milk, it's like you're just fucking drinking out of fucking cardboard.
It's just a cardboard box.
But it's like out east they do
What is the matter with you guys?
Yeah.
Wait, what is everybody against milk?
But it's
Yeah,
like, but I'm
it's
just
pretty gross.
questioning. I'm
man.
just questioning
All right.
why the delivery system hasn't been upgraded in all these years. Because out east they do the bags of milk, right? Which is actually
Sure.
which is kind of better, you know, like just in terms
in Panama,
of like,
it's the Tetra Packs because there's not like not everyone has refrigeration, so it's like
oh,
like in stores and stuff like that. So they're
Right.
literally in like these big like juice
boxes, yeah.
out in the 30 degree
Oh my god.
No shit.
sun, and it's
my
fine
God.
because they're these weird like Tetra Pack. It's a
Yeah.
fucking mind fuck. They
That's
leave their eggs
weird.
out and they leave the milk out.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's weird as hell. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if this guy's ever gonna recover from this.
Probably
Yeah,
not.
I guess
Yeah.
I'm a piece of shit. I don't know. I think we have to rethink.
At least it's
Me
a
as a
fresh carton.
person.
How dare you, sir?
Yeah,
My
we're
lord.
gonna install some security cameras pointed at the fridge.
You don't
In the
wanna do
kitchen? Are you
that.
sure you
You
have?
don't want to do
You're
that.
finding a whole lot more milk. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
There's a couple spills.
What is this sticky milk all over the floor?
Yeah. What is this, skim?
Sometimes you let it fly. No,
Definitely
that's
not
whole.
skim.
It's not
That's
skim,
whole
it's
milk.
whole.
That's homo milk.
Yeah, that's
skim.
whole.
It's not skim. It. Not skim. It's ski.
All right. I think it's time to skim over the album.
Yeah, we've only
shall we?
we've
I
only
don't
talked for
59
minutes.
minutes in. You reckon?
All right. This week, we listened to Swimming by Mac Miller, released August 3rd, 2018. It was his 5th studio album. He produced it himself, like along with other people. So released August 3rd, 2018, and then he died September 7th, 2018.
Ooh.
Yeah, so just a month afterwards. And so he it was nominated for Best Rap Album at the 2019 Grammys. And just like an aside, a really fucked up story about this is that he was nominated obviously posthumously
Posthumously?
post-
I don't
posthumously
know. Yeah, I never-
for this album, for Best Rap Album at the Grammys. And they invited his family to come to the ceremony, like flew them in, you know, had them seated at the front there. And then he didn't win, you know, and so then they flew his fucking family in, had like cameras on them and stuff, and then fucking Cardi B won or whatever. It was
Fucking
super
Cardi
fucked
B.
up.
That's
Super
Wet ass
fucked up.
pussy, huh?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, which is like, I mean, obviously just because someone died doesn't mean they have to win, but why bring his family?
Yeah,
in? Like,
leave it
that's
alone.
So
Yeah,
fucked
definitely.
up. Yeah.
She's the one throwing microphones at people now, right?
Yeah.
Did she just do that?
She
That was
did,
hilarious.
yeah. Well, because to be fair though, because someone fucking like threw like their drink on her while she was on stage. Or
In
Yeah.
Vegas, I've thrown so many beers at stages in Vegas, but I'm there. For
But
a
I
different
mean,
reason all the
to
time,
do that because Cardi B, like, I don't know, I wouldn't do that to Cardi B because she will fuck, like, you
Yeah,
know.
she's rack attacking, man. She'll fucking throw a microphone at you.
She'll throw a fucking
Yeah,
microphone at you, like she's unhinged.
She looked
This
she got a hell of an arm on her.
yeah, so this album, it was followed posthumously by his album Circles, which came out in January 2020. But that album, it was actually, obviously it was recorded before he died, but it was recorded specifically to be a companion piece to this album. It was supposed to be like Swimming in Circles or whatever.
Oh, cool.
And so, because that's sort of... I don't know. I never know how I feel about kind of albums being released after artists die. 'Cause it's like, well, they didn't.
It's always weird.
Yeah, but this one I think is an exception because he even like he had like the track order like all picked out and stuff, and it was like the thing that he recorded. It was it was
Yeah, it's
all
one
there,
body of
whatever.
work,
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of Tupac's like best stuff or whatever was released posthumously, and it's always kind of like weird stories of who had the rights to do it and under what label and blah blah blah. It's always kind of weird.
Yeah. But and also there's right after this album came out, he did a Tiny Desk concert, which was also in the month before he passed, which was so good.
Thundercat stuff.
But yeah, so I thought it'd be fun to do this album because compared to like Kids, which we did last year, so you can kind of see like the progression of like his like style and like how like obviously it's so vastly different, but he does still have some like fun like upbeat beats, but just seeing like it's also like just such like I don't know, like a time capsule of like where like he was mentally at that time. Like it's really fucking.
It's definitely
like,
a little bit darker. I think like musically deeper, and it's funny. Like I was thinking about that this morning. It's like it's cool because like I like rapping. You know what I mean? But this is still like a great album, and it's cool that there's not a 19-year-old kid telling me how he's gonna fuck my girlfriend in every song. So.
Yeah.
With kids and stuff, it's great or whatever. But like, you know what I mean? That's just like that's his vibe, which is always funny or whatever. Where you're always just singing along, just driving. And she's like, "The fuck are you singing so closely this way?"
But yeah, no, I love this album. I've listened to it so many times. Definitely, like I was telling you guys, like my like emotional girl album or whatever.
Right.
Like
Hell
it's it is definitely a super emotional.
I can see that too.
Yeah.
I was curious about that. Ty, do you have an emotional boy album?
I was gonna ask you guys what your
Oh
emotional
man.
boy albums were.
Yeah, you do.
Here we go.
I would always listen. I was like, when I was like,
Oh God.
Here we go.
when I was, I was maybe in grade like 11 or 12, just depressed, like just like, all right, teenage angst, just whatever, just down on anything. I'd be like, if any like James Taylor came on, like, dude, if I heard fucking James Taylor,
Can you break
my
to I'm not James Taylor off the top of
God.
my head. Give me the hits. What's
like
the
Fire and Rain, like
he was like
Steamroller,
a,
70s like songwriter kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, exactly.
Great
like
cameo
those,
in The Simpsons. I
those,
don't know
like-
what it was. It was just like one of those like I don't know. It was always like those kinds of like dudes, like obviously if it's like Cat Stevens is talking about his dad, I'm like, oh
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, like,
of course.
James, and then any like I was trying to think of like any any singer songwriter shit like that. I don't know what it was, but I don't know what it is. Something about James Taylor would just like get me real fucking
when
teary-eyed.
I in fucking in high school, I would fucking because again, like grade 12, super depressed, like you're just going through all the emotions.
There's so
when
many
you're a
things
teenager.
happening in your body. It's a fucking
yeah.
wild time.
And I would fucking get into like fucking Bon Iver, like real sad girl stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I always thought that was
yeah.
Bon Iver. I've never heard it said out loud.
Blind spot.
Blind spot.
Bon Iver.
Bon Iver sounds
Yeah.
Sister of Jovi.
Yeah.
cool. Bon Iver, sister of Joey.
What's your emotional boy?
Oh, you guys
album?
know I'm an emotional boy. So
Yeah.
to narrow it down to one would be impossible. But depending on the type of sadness and how long I want to stay in my pit of depression, I'll narrow it down to 3, 4. I would say POS is never better. There's a couple of songs there, especially like Optimist, is one that always gets me, and the rest of it, there is kind of like a heavier tone to the album or whatever that I absolutely love. Off with Their Heads in Desolation. Fuck, that one gets me every time. That the lead singer of Off with Their Heads owns a record label and like distribution company called anxiousandangry.com. So if that's what he's going to name his company, imagine what he sings about.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Very deep, very heavy shit there. I would say, maybe I'll just do 3 and say the third one is an EP that is pretty fucking obscure, but it's the greatest thing ever. It's by a fellow named Guante, who is like a hip hop artist from Minneapolis. Also is like a spoken word like poetry champion and all kinds of like different shit, and a writer and a lot of different stuff. So he's like a lot of like kind of protest music and a lot of like really deep introspective stuff. And he did this duet with a female singer songwriter. Can't remember her name right now. She was in an all-female hip-hop group too, released a record on Rhymesayers, I believe. But either way, there's 5 songs. It's called A Loud Heart. It exists on like YouTube, and I have like pirated versions or whatever on like everything that I have that I can listen to music on. I have a copy of that record on there because those 5 songs fucking get me.
Yeah.
And they get me good. Yeah, it's just beautiful, kind of like rapping over top of an acoustic guitar, and then she sings the choruses and stuff like that, and it's fucking gets me every time. Yeah. So if I want to stay in the pocket of my little sad boy, you know,
I'll also say Nirvana's Bleach.
Oh,
hell yeah, dude, that's a good one.
That's a pretty good
yeah.
song.
There's a lot, so many like definitely like acoustic or whatever. Yeah, like singer-songwriter stuff. Yeah.
Honorable mention to Dave Haas Patty for sure. That one gets me a lot. This Dillinger 4 songs, which is one of my favorite bands, but just done acoustically by that's
I thought you were
really
gonna
great.
say Chris Creswell's
Chris Creswell's 1 week record. That's a fucking great one. I want that cover fucking tattooed on my body. That one's oh my god. I'm gonna change my answer to that one.
Yeah.
That's fucking that one gets me.
It's funny how much we identify with that, like a certain like a kind of a bad feeling.
Yeah.
But with music though, because it's helped get through it, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but it's interesting to know, like, as you get older, when it's like maybe, you know, we all still have those feelings and whatever. Some days are better than others. Yeah. And it's like to know that you could go to that is really cool. Like,
I wanted to take. Sometimes I'll just have like if it's like a hangover day or whatever. I'm not particularly.
You know when you're like okay with being like,
I'm gonna be a bit
exactly.
sad.
You're like this isn't. Like this. I'm not a danger to myself right now. But like this is. I'm just gonna sit in these feelings or whatever.
I'm gonna go there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take myself there. Sometimes it's nice with like an extra double order McDonald's.
Hotcakes.
Yeah, a couple hotcakes. You sit down and just be sad because you can.
It is like a funny thing too, because when you know you're having an emotional day or whatever, and it makes you feel better to like sink into that and listen to these kind of go-to albums compared to like if you were like, oh, I'm gonna listen to a happy album or whatever. It's like that doesn't feel as like good, even though on the surface of it, you would think like, oh, like you should listen to happy music if you're sad to make yourself happy or whatever.
You gotta be fucking psycho to do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that won't make you feel.
That's like some psycho sad shit. That's like you are a harm to yourself.
You
got less than Jake fucking Disney ska, super upbeat, just
sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows.
Skank out of my sadness hole. If fucking it's not gonna happen.
I'm not skanking out my sadness.
Skanking out the sadness. Oh my god.
Maybe the Slackers. Like I'll do that one if I'm feeling a little down. But, What did I guess you kind of said what you thought of that? Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. Like really get like a chance to see how much he grew as an artist, and it's a huge bummer because where he would have went, like it kind of took the chains off, and it wasn't so like stripped. Like you could see that he was open to like experimenting. And going
I mean, he had the strings in that last.
It felt so much more like bandy,
totally,
and like a complete like not that his ultimate isn't like doesn't feel finished or anything like that, but it just feels a little more bare bones.
It feels like so much more collaborative. He has so many other people
and it just didn't. To me, the older stuff doesn't, because I'm just not a lyric dude. Like I'm just, I'm not. Like and most of the hip hop that I love is still very melodic. It's Outkast. It's like it's very melodic kind of shit. So, and he has a very melodic flow, and his flow is unbelievable. And it's like, man, the way he's able to put phrases together is incredible, and I love that of it. But listening to this compared to the older stuff, I'm just like, there's so much more happening that it's like it's pretty like. I'm in front to finish. Like it's like, wow, there's so much happening. And then that Tiny Desk concert is just like I love. There's nothing better to me than watching, because like I think maybe a lot of people have an idea about some of these hip hop people that are like, oh, it's a drum machine, or like they're really studio based. Like maybe the live isn't that good, or like half the time it's like this backing track or whatever. It's like no, these people have. Gangster ass friends who are all really good musicians.
Go watch Cypress Hills right now. So
unbelievable. Action Bronson's just had an unbelievable. I can't wait to check that one out. It's so fucking good.
And I'll say with Mac Miller's too, because I've definitely watched that one more than any other one, like many times. We've watched it
together. Many
times. But it was like a few years ago. I remember me and my younger brother. We were with my dad, and we were kind of just like watching Tiny Desk concerts or whatever, and we put that one on. And my dad obviously is not like a hip hop guy at all. He's very much classic rock. And he was saying like after that, he's like, wow, like I feel like I've like his like mind's like been completely opened. He's like, wow, like this is so much more than
no
like
idea.
And then it was like, okay, super bummer, but he's actually dead. But
Tim Andrews looking up tickets.
Yeah, exactly. Mac Miller
coming to town.
Hey, they're playing the Blue Man Group. Will be here the next night. We might have a fucking double header on our hands this weekend, gang.
Oh my god. Okay, that just reminded me really quick. Just speaking of like childhood stuff, and like my mom has been going through these boxes from our storage locker, and she found me in kindergarten. Each of us, me and my brothers, because we all had the same kindergarten teachers, so she did like this project that was like 100 days of school or something like that, and you'd make these 100-day vests or whatever. So she gives you these vests, and you have to put 100 of something on it. And we all did this project when we were each in kindergarten. So she found the ones that we made, and it was like my older brother Justin did like 100 like keys from a keyboard, and it's all like all these keys glued onto this vest, and Kelly did like 100 like CD-ROMs or whatever, and it's all these CD-ROMs on this vest.
And then we get to Jackie.
You can guess 100 of the craziest things. You'll never get this. It's fucking wild.
Was 100 photos of myself.
Did you get confirmation that your mom still has it?
That's the worst.
This is the best. No, this is the best part.
She has fucking Kelly and Justin's, which is literally vests with garbage glued to them, and mine got tossed. 100 photos of me as a child. They were like, Jesus Christ.
This fucking bullshit out of here.
What are we gonna do? Burn it.
It's so funny because it's like we all did this when we were like 5-6 years old, and it's like Justin did like keys, and he's like a fucking accountant. Kelly did this like CD-ROMs, and he's like working like programming like fucking apps and shit. And I did 100 photos of myself. And
what do you want to be? You're an accountant. What do you want to be? Like a scientist. What do you want to be? Noticed.
I want people to worship me the same way I worship myself.
That's so much task.
Yeah. All right. I think that does it for the episode this week, guys.
All right, gang.
See you next week.
Peace.